Former Prime Minister Bruce Golding's recent comments really needed to be said because they force us to look beyond the immediate controversy to ask a deeper question about Jamaica's sovereignty. We are living in a dangerous global moment, a moment where the rule of law is being challenged by the rule of power, a moment where diplomacy is becoming more transactional, where powerful countries are less subtle about their interests, and where small states must constantly calculate the cost of every decision. That is the frame through which we must understand the third country nationals arrangement. Can Jamaica really say no to a powerful country? Legally, yes, but politically, economically, and diplomatically, that is where the real question begins. Yes, on paper, this is about migration logistics. The government has said that Jamaica entered into an arrangement with the United States to allow certain third country nationals to transit through Jamaica on their way to their final destinations. But politics is never only about what is written on paper. The real issue is power. Can Jamaica say no? Of course, we said this already in a legal sense, yes. We are a sovereign country. We have a constitution, a parliament, a cabinet, borders, laws, and diplomatic standing. But sovereignty is not exercised in a vacuum. Jamaica is making decisions in a world where visas can be tightened, access can be delayed, and aid can become conditional. Financial institutions can increase scrutiny, investor confidence can shift, and correspondent banking relationships can become fragile. So when people ask, why doesn't the government just say no? We have to ask, what kind of no? A moral no? A diplomatic no? A private no? A public no? A strategic no? A no that protects dignity but avoids punishment? Because Jamaica is not only connected to the United States by diplomacy, Jamaica is connected to the United States by family. New York, Florida, New Jersey, Atlanta, Connecticut, the Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens. These are not just foreign places to us. These are extensions of Jamaican family life. The Jamaican grandmother waiting on a visa to visit her grandchildren, the student hoping to study abroad, the nurse trying to migrate or work in the US, the farm worker, the family whose rent, school fee, light, and medication or grocery money depends on remittances from relatives overseas. That is not abstract. That is the political economy of survival. Remittances are not just money transfers. They are lifelines. They are school fees. They are funeral expenses. They are medication. They are groceries. They are rent. They are small business capital. They are how many Jamaican families make it from one month to the next. So when Jamaica negotiates with a powerful country like the United States, Jamaica is not negotiating from equal ground. And that is the burden of small state sovereignty. The powerful can be reckless and call it policy. The powerful can be coercive and call it negotiation. The powerful can make demands and call it partnership. But small states must be careful and call it diplomacy. Now let me be clear. Prudence is not cowardice. A small state must be strategic, but neither should prudence become surrender. If Jamaica is constrained, the people deserve to know the nature of the constraint. If decisions are being made in our name, then the government must explain the risks, the safeguards, the terms, the exit clauses, and the human rights protections. Because sovereignty is not only the government's right to negotiate, sovereignty is also the people's right, our right to know. I wish we lived in a world where Caribbean leaders could say, like Maurice Bishop's did, and with Maurice Bishop's clarity, we are in nobody's backyard. But the harder truth is that we have always lived inside unequal power. The difference now is that global power is becoming less polite, less diplomatic, and more willing to expose the hierarchy. So, can Jamaica truly claim sovereignty in this world order? Yes, but not a romantic sovereignty, not a sovereignty that pretends that size doesn't matter, not a sovereignty that pretends debt does not matter, not a sovereignty that pretends that remittances do not matter, not a sovereignty that pretends visas do not matter, not a sovereignty that pretends Washington and New York do not sit inside the machinery of the global economy. Jamaica must claim a strategic sovereignty, a sovereignty that understands power but doesn't get swallowed up by it, a sovereignty that chooses diplomacy without becoming silent, a sovereignty that protects family ties without becoming hostage to them, a sovereignty that maintains relations with powerful countries but does not outsource moral judgment to them. So the question we must sit with is this: can a black majority Caribbean state be truly sovereign in a world where its visas, remittances, banking relationships, migration pathways, investment flows, and security partnerships are tied to the goodwill of more powerful nations? And if the answer is not fully, then the harder question is, what kind of courage, strategy, and regional solidarity would it take for Jamaica to become more sovereign than it is now? This is the body politic. We are in nobody's backyard, but we must understand the yard that we are standing in.